Welcome to Disability, where we turn our diagnosis into a dominant trait. My next guest is a man who was diagnosed with a medical condition that's caused him to be in and out of hospitals for the past 2 decades. Through education and medication, he's allowed himself to live a very robust life, even while still dealing with the disease. Not only is he a professional dog walker, he also has a passion for music. I think his story is truly amazing, and I'm sure you will too by the end of this episode. Everyone, welcome to the show, Victor.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
What's going on, brother? Thank you for coming. I know we had this arranged last month,
Yeah. We
but
got the,
life happens, things happen. So thank you for staying patient with me and finally pulling up.
yeah, most definitely. I wanted to make sure that I made it here. It was a few medical things that I was going through that stopped me from coming, but I took care of it. She made sure that I was gonna make sure that I made it here. So I also myself, I wanted to make sure that I stood by my word and came here and did what you asked me as well.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. Um, let's start from the top, man. Tell the people exactly what your diagnosis is.
Well, at the age of 9, I was diagnosed with this disease called nephrotic syndrome. It's called FSGS. It's basically where the filtration system in your kidney doesn't work. It gets scarring on it, so you start to get edema underneath the skin. You leak protein in your urine, and after that, the causes down the line is dialysis. There is no other way out of it. Um, you could get a transplant, but like I'm dealing with now with the transplant, it can only lasts you for a certain amount of years. There's no way to actually cure or stop the disease from happening. So you go have it for good life for a while with the kidney, but eventually it's gonna fail. So I'm at that process now. So I'm trying to keep myself positive in the sense of not trying to think about what's gonna come. I just trying to live in the moment at right now for make the best of whatever it is that I'm going through at the moment.
And stay optimistic.
Yeah.
Um, when you were diagnosed with, you said you were 9 years old, right?
Yes.
Were you one of the first people in your life that you've ever heard about this
I've
condition
never
at
heard
9? I
anything
mean, at
about this
9 we don't really
condition.
know
Yeah.
much about
Yeah.
anything, but I mean, maybe as a teenager, it was just like, wow, am I the only person with this? Did you
I
experience
definitely
that?
felt like that at times because I never came across anybody else that was on dialysis or dealing with the disease that I had. And it was really difficult to speak to people about it because you can't really speak about it with people that can't relate. I mean, you could open up to them and speak to them about it and they could be sympathetic, but at the same token, they would never fully understand what it is to actually go through it. So dealing with it as a child, I kept it a secret from everybody into high school and junior high school, and there was maybe like a handful of people that were really knew about what I was going through. But
Right.
other than that, I always try to hide it because I felt like people would try to use it against me as my weakness later on in life. But then I learned to just embrace it.
What about your family at the time? What was their reaction
Well,
to
at the
it?
time, my mom was still alive, and she was
She's passed now.
yeah, she's passed
Oh,
away.
may she
Yes,
rest in peace.
thank you. She was really trying to do the best that she can. We didn't have much information about what the disease was. We did a bunch of tests, and it just so happens that one day I went to stay the night at my sister's house, and my mom came to get me, and my whole face and everything, my whole body was swelling. I had swelling all around it, and we didn't know what it was.
Was
And
this at 9 years old?
this was at 9 years old, yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
we went to the hospital, and that's when I was diagnosed. They did a biopsy, and then that's when I was diagnosed with the disease that I had.
Okay. Um. Wow.
I know you did ask about my family. Like I have two other sisters. They were
Okay.
there as well, and they tried their best with me as well. I mean, I couldn't have made it as far as I did without them and their support. That my family always been supportive of whatever I was going through with illness, since they always had my back. They always been there for sure.
That's good. That's good that you said that because my next question was, how did this really affect you emotionally? Because at 9 years old, I can only imagine there's a lot to deal with. Um, the support system that your family offers you, how important is that to you?
It was very important because again, like not knowing many people that had the illness, you kind
Mhm.
of leaned on your family for support or even guidance at sometimes because at being at that age, you were told I had strict diets. I couldn't eat anything,
Wow.
like anything with high sodium. So basically, at 9 years old, you're telling a kid he can't have chips, pizza, and all those other things. It's like I couldn't really grasp the situation at hand of why I couldn't do it, or didn't think the severity of my illness was as what it was. But in reality, it was, and it was difficult for me to deal with. I was very defiant. I wouldn't take my medication like I
Right.
would,
Right. Yeah.
because I didn't want to be taking it in front of my friends, and then they're asking a bunch of questions and stuff like that. So
Right.
I kind of self-sabotaged myself like that, doing that for a while, like not being on top of what I was supposed to. It just made me longer down the line have more medical problems that was being caused from the kidney and being on dialysis,
Right.
instead of doing what I had to. But and that, as a child, it was just like I want to do what I want, and I don't want to be embarrassed in front of my friends and stuff like that. So it was
Right.
really hard emotionally for me to comprehend the severity of the situation at that age. Like, it was just, I couldn't really understand it. Even at this age, I'm still trying to fully grasp the whole situation. But at
Right.
that age, it was just, I definitely didn't do what I was supposed to do.
So, because I can relate to that, because it's just a struggle trying to be a quote unquote normal teenager, right? Everybody else is living their lives. They're doing whatever they want to do, and you want to roll. You want to
Most
be down with the
definitely.
crew too, right? You want to, be like everybody else, but at the same time, you have to be mindful because your condition is different.
Definitely.
So, do you feel like you kind of had to mature quicker in that?
Oh
just
yeah,
because of that?
definitely. And like, I started dialysis when I was 15, so maturing quicker was definitely something I had to do right away. Like, it's like, this is what it is, and this is what it's gonna be, and you either gonna lock in and get it done, or you gonna wallow in your sorrows and fail and just keep dying from within. And I just always had a strong mindset, like, as other people got worse things going on,
Yeah.
I have a chance to actually live life on a machine, rather than some people don't have that option at all. It's
Right.
either whatever they got with, and they have a time limit, and whatever, when it comes, it comes.
Right.
But I still had the opportunity to make the best of it, so I tried my best to live the best life I could on dialysis. I traveled everywhere. I
Nice.
met so many friends. I've done a lot of things on dialysis that most people don't get to do at all, because their mindset is just not there. And when you go in there, you get a sense of it when people just feel like they're just defeated. And I was always that person that tried to bring them out of that, because if I could do it, I feel like anybody could do it. Like, I don't, I never like to see anybody feeling like their illness was beating them down and taking away their life from them. I always try to be a light for other people dealing with things like that as well.
That's dope. How often do you do dialysis?
I was
For
getting
those
it
people who don't know.
3 times a week. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I know they tell you it's 4 hours on the machine, but in reality, you lose about 8 to 10 hours of your life a day. Because the 4 hours on the machine doesn't account for you having to hold to stop the bleeding for maybe about 15, 20 minutes. You're in the unit, you got to wait an hour to get on the machine. You wait for the people to take you home. So you literally lose about 10 hours out of your day just being in dialysis.
Right.
And trying to correlate that with school and everything was,
Wow.
it was hard.
Whew.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Okay, so FSGS, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for the people who this is their first time hearing about it, real quick, paint me a good picture, not a good picture, but a good day. Tell us what a good day looks like with FSGS, and then tell us what, like, more of a day with the obstacles, like you said, having to go spend. You kind of already addressed it, spending
Yes.
all day and having to wait, and So what does a good day look like?
A good day having FSGS is you don't have no pain. Like, you wake up in the morning and
Okay.
your body's great. Like, you don't feel no problems.
Nope.
If you have to get your dialysis done, you had a great treatment.
Mm-hmm.
No problems on the machine. You have a great day with your friends at dialysis, because I built a lot of relationships with people there. So
Okay.
they all really are my support system and my backbone there. So when you have them and we all just vibing and clicking somewhere where life is, where you're not supposed to have that, isn't a great day. It's a great day for me, because being in the center like that with your friends and you have all having a good laughing moment is amazing to me, when everything around you is just not what it's supposed to be. And we being able to make that happen in a place where it just looks like everything is hopeless.
Right.
So that is a great day for me. A bad day, FSGS, is waking up with toxins in your body, because what happens with the kidney, it's the filtration system of the whole body.
Right.
And you get rid of toxins through your urine.
Right.
But because of my disease, the filtration system in the kidneys have scarring on them, and they don't be able to filter out with the toxins that we eat every day, eat and drink the food that we're supposed to excrete from our bodies.
Right.
Goes underneath my skin into my blood. So all those things make you very weak. You can't even barely make a fist if you wanted to, or even stand for that matter, because the toxins start taking a toll on your body. Also, dialysis also is a good thing, but it also breaks your body down in the long run. So it gives you an enlarged heart from having a fast blood flow on the machine for such a consistent amount of time. It breaks down your bones from the phosphate in your blood that's really high as well, which caused me to have so many complications with my knees, my teeth, my hands, my feet, all over it. Like, I broke bones multiple times because of it. And that's a bad day on dialysis. So going in there and not getting a good stick and arm infiltrating, or just a lot of things that come into factor when you're going into dialysis. Like, it could be a lifesaver, but it could also destroy you at the same time, in the same token, if you don't be able to manage it properly.
You said sticks, right? Like, I have terrible veins. Do you know what a port is?
Yes.
Have they ever offered you that?
I never wanted the port.
Yeah, me neither.
Again. I'm very stubborn.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm very stubborn.
I'm the same way.
When they wanted to give me the port, it was a time when I had to go back on dialysis because I had recently lost my first transplant.
Okay.
And for those that don't know what an AV fistula is, an AV fistula is something in your arm where they connect the artery and the vein together, so that you be able to take the massive size of the needles in dialysis. They need to be thick and long so that they could be able not to clot while you're on the machine.
Okay.
And they can't do that with a regular vein. It'll blow it. So they give you this man-made vein that they connect to your arm, so that when you're getting dialysis done, they stick 2 needles in. One draws the blood out, and the other one puts the blood back into the body. And that's how you get everything you need on the machine as far as calcium, vitamin D.
Okay.
It also pulls the fluid out from your body that's already underneath the skin. It does multiple things like that. But at that time when I lost my first kidney, I also lost my arm. And a lot of people would see it as, oh, that's not important, just get the port.
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
I can't go to the beach. I can't go to the pool.
Yeah.
I can't take a shower.
Right.
I can't play around with my friends. No basketball, no football, none of that. That's not a life to me.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't want the port, so I let all the fluid build up in my body to the point where I was reaching almost 180 pounds. I'm 130 pounds, 135 pounds. I went to 180 pounds with just fluid on me because I refused to get the port in my chest.
Wow.
And they had just done another thing in my arm for me to get it done again because the other one failed. And it takes a month almost to actually develop that arm. And it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, trust me. I struggle with vein problems too, man. I every time I go to the hospital, they have to give me like what's the thing called with like the gel, the ultrasound machine.
Yes.
Just to find my veins because they're non-existent. You know, they're there, but they're underneath the skin. So they're so deep. It's like, you know, I have to use a machine. So I understand the vein struggle in the port. I just never, I guess I'm a vein person too. Like, you know, I just didn't want, because, you know, if anybody never ever seen a port before, it sticks, kind of protrudes out your chest a little bit,
Definitely.
right? So, I mean, you needed the help with your condition, but listen, we all human. I'm a little vain. I didn't want it.
I didn't want it.
But
I'm the same. I'm like,
I didn't want it.
I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
And then, like you said, that you can't do that, you can't do that, you got so many different limitations, and also, it can get affected
very quickly, and you get that infected on dialysis. That's bad. You're gonna deal with that bad. It's a bad infection. It could collapse your lungs sometimes, and all type of stuff can happen with having that port. That I was like, nah, I don't want that thing.
I'm with you on that one, brother. Okay,
Not to cut you off, but that actually was the reason why I wasn't able to come the first time.
Oh, really?
I'm having I had complications with the arm, and it failed, so it was just dying on its own. But before it died, I had a massive blood clot in it.
Right.
I couldn't even touch my shoulder or anything. Like, it was in excruciating pain.
Ooh.
So that's why I had to cancel it, because I was in and out the hospital trying to figure out what they were gonna do, and they couldn't go in to do the surgery because it was too much going on that if they would have shut it down, I could have lost blood circulation to my hand, and I would have never had the hand no more. I would have lost my whole hand from that. So it was a lot of complications going on with that. And I try to tell people about the arm, but again, they don't fully understand or grasp the situation about not having the arm. To them, it's like, oh, you don't need it. You're not on dialysis no more. But my reality is that I will be. No matter how much people want to say, you know, I believe in God and all that, and they say pray and all of that stuff. But my reality is that I will be back on dialysis regardless.
Right.
When nobody says it's going to happen.
Right.
And it's already in, you know, the process. So me losing the arm would mean now I have to get another access in this arm and build it up. And it sounds like, oh, just get it in the other arm. But if you know how painful it is to get a needle this big shoved in your arm,
Right.
to pierce that skin,
It's not fun.
and when you have this, after a while, you build scar tissue in the arm.
Yes.
So you don't
Yes.
really feel the stick no more. So you're like, all right, I'm comfortable with my arm because I've already developed it so much to the point where when I'm getting sticked, I don't feel the pain as much. But
Right.
when I have to get it in a new arm, it's like getting, it's so painful. You feel the burning sensation from every stick that you get in the arm. And that's why I try to tell to other people why I didn't want to lose the arm. But to them, they don't understand. It's like, you don't need it. You're not on dialysis. You're
Right.
okay. You're
Right.
doing great. But in the back of my head, it's like, yeah, I know what the reality is. And me having to get stuck all over again on fresh skin is not ideal for me at all. So it's like, I'm battling with that in the moment right now.
Right. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. It's just it's always something. You know, just when you feel like one thing is good, it's like something else. It's something, you know. So you always just have to be very mindful of everything going on,
Definitely.
and definitely. So at one point we were speaking. You told me that you had to take medication in order to urine.
Yes.
Can you talk to the people about that situation
Yes.
and why that came about?
So before I got on dialysis, you would take a pill. I'm trying to remember what the word is for it, like a diuretic or something like that. I don't want to give miss to say the word wrong, right?
Okay.
And it helps you go to the bathroom so you can pee and stuff like that. Because that was the situation that I had. It was always edema underneath the skin. That was the main thing, and that I would pee your protein out in the urine. So they would give you that so that you could go to the bathroom and pee and stuff like that. But at a certain point, it would not work anymore. Like the kidney would not just function. It's not going to be pushing out anything. And that's when you have to go on dialysis, because after a certain point, it's just going to be pointless. You won't be able to use it no more.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Also, that pill, the kidney, is very sensitive. So when you actually get diuretic and stuff like that, or being on dialysis, it could actually stop the function from your kidney, because the kidney could get lazy without having something else do it for it. Because I remember when I was feeling like I had edema under me from when I first got the transplant, I'm like, well, then just give me dialysis real quick. Let's get rid of it. But she's like, if we do that, the kidney will become dependent on the machine. And it would not be able to do its job. It will become lazy. That's also why they don't want to give you the Lasix pills like to make you pee, because one, you'll dry out the kidney after a while, and then it won't
It'll get too
anything.
dependent.
Yeah, it's like I'm just not doing anything anymore.
It'll just be too dependent on the pill. That makes sense. Yeah, I get it. Jobs, careers. How did you go about managing that? I'm not too sure. College or any kind of vocational. When you got to an adult age and you had to go out in the world, make a living for yourself, how do you go about navigating your condition with being able to support yourself and being out there in the world?
It was very difficult, because I didn't go to college because I'm not making any excuses, because I feel like anybody could do anything they want with any illness that they have. Just for me personally, I felt like it would have been a larger task for me to try to get to college and being on dialysis 3 times a week. We're trying to maintain all that. I just felt like it would have been overwhelming for me. So I didn't go that route. I tried to do something more like the dog walking and stuff like that. And I also had jobs working in like Urban Outfitters and stuff like that. But
Dope.
the problem with that is that you're not going to always be 100%. And trying to explain to your job that you're sick just sounds like another excuse that every other employee is giving to the job site. And they didn't fully understand. Like, I would always be transparent with them at the job place and let them know that this is what I have going on. But after like 3 times I have to call out within a month, it's like, oh, and they just look at you as a liability and you're not being consistent. And I can't control that. Like I really can't control that. Like
Yeah.
that's out of my hands here. Like, and that's been the hardest thing to hold the job is because my medical. Like one minute I could be great, and next thing you know, I'll just be in the hospital for something. And then trying to relate that to my job, let them know I'm in the hospital. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. They're not trying to hear that shit. They really not trying to hear that.
Right. Do you feel like that there's a need for I don't know if government is like a lack of better words, but maybe just more laws in place to protect people like us with
Most
conditions,
definitely.
so that we can work and
And I do believe that Disney has kind of like incorporated that into their business as well. So when you go
okay.
to
Shout
like
out to Disney.
yeah, when
That's
you
what's
go
up.
to Universal Studios and stuff like that, they have people with Down syndrome or people with other illnesses that work there on site so that they can provide people with jobs with different illnesses and diseases and stuff like that. So I do believe they need to have more things like that at hand for people to be able to have access to, because like there's certain people that just can't work, like they don't want to lose their disability, but they also can't live off their disability because it's
Right.
not enough. So they want to find something on the side to work, but also still not losing their benefits. And that also plays a part too, which is hard to try to find a job that's going to give you 30 hours instead of making you do the whole 40, because if you do, they'll take that check away. So it's like, oh, what job could I find that won't give me too much hours, but won't be too strenuous on my body, and will understand that I have an illness.
Right.
And it's non-existent.
Right.
It's non-existent.
Right. I find it hard too, man, just to be in the workplace and always trying to have a doctor's note and be in it. But you know, there are places where HR they do
Oh,
their
yeah.
job. They look out for you to make sure that you can still, you know, work and not be discriminated
Most
against.
definitely. I've come
in the
across some
workplace.
good bosses and good
So
people that.
yeah, me
that-
too. Me too. I've had my share of good bosses, bad bosses, you know.
definitely.
But I think it's definitely important for people out there with a disability to build a strong relationship with your team, supervisor,
Most
manager.
definitely.
Find somebody that'll be in your corner. So Vic, I don't want to leave without talking about this. So your kidney, right? You're on your second kidney right now,
Yes.
correct? Right. Each one of them, I guess. Why don't you tell the people about the first one and then the second one, the stories behind them, and how you got from the first one to the second one and where you are now. What's your status?
Okay.
As
So the
of now?
first one I got around like I was 18. I think I was like 18 years old when I got the first one.
Okay.
I got it done in Montefiore Hospital in the Bronx. At the time, they were the top hospital for kidney transplants, so I went with them. I thought that it was a great idea.
And not to cut you off, but people have to
Yes.
donate kidneys,
Yes.
right? That's how it works.
You can get it
Okay.
donate, or somebody could give it to you.
Okay.
I didn't really like putting my family in the position to asking them for a kidney, even though they offered. I just felt like if I would lose it, I feel like I failed them. And knowing that my disease that I have, it's very possible that I will lose it. And then I will feel so terrible that I put someone through the surgery, giving me their kidney,
That's deep.
and it's not going to last me. And I don't want any resentment from anybody. Like, I did this for you. And,
Right. Yeah, I
and you didn't
understand.
even
Wow.
take care of it. I did, but my illness didn't allow it.
Right.
So
Was
it's
it
like,
wasn't me?
It wasn't me.
It's-
Yeah,
right.
So
Yeah.
I didn't
got
never
you.
ask for anybody to give it to me, even though I have many people that asked to give it to me.
That's
I just
awesome.
didn't want to take it.
I got
So I waited on dialysis, and I got a kidney at 18. But again, my disease is very strong. So after the surgery, literally during the surgery operation, they already seen signs of the FSGS already occurring into the new kidney. So when I got that kidney, it was just basically fighting to keep it. I didn't have no good period with it. It was just, and I went to another treatment called plasmapheresis. It kind of separates your red and white blood cells, a machine, kind of like dialysis a little bit. They still use the same arm and everything, but it was not doing anything. So I lost that kidney. I only had it for maybe about a year. I didn't have it very long at all.
That process is that different from dialysis? That process that you
Yes,
just mentioned.
plasmapheresis. I know
Okay.
they use it. Some people. I don't want to say it's a cancer treatment, but I do know some people that have cancer that go to these units to get certain things done, and there's plasmapheresis being done as well there, along with other patients that's getting cancer treatment done there too as well.
Wow.
So it separates like your red and white blood cells. I think I had high. I think it's the white blood cells that attack the the things in your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. That was to protect you, right?
That's his wife in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you keep seeing us look to the side. His wife is making sure. Yeah, she's keeping us on point.
Right.
Thank you.
So I had too many, and having a high white blood cell count will attack the kidney because it's foreign. So they had to put me on this plasmapheresis to stop the white blood cells from attacking the foreign entity, which was the new kidney in my body. And after a while, it just doesn't work anymore. Also gives protein. Also helps you get the protein that you need, that you're leaking in the urine as well.
Gotcha.
The machine does both. But after a while, after that year, I lost it, and then I had to go right back on dialysis again, which is I was explaining to you how I lost the fistula that first time. I have to do all the other stuff where I gained almost 180 pounds and stuff like that. That was the first transplant.
That was the first transplant.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the second transplant, I think I say it's a miracle. I don't know what it is. I was in a good place around 2020, and it may sound crazy because it was
because everybody else was in a
COVID,
terrible place.
yes.
But,
but I was in a very giving mood. I was just very happy for some reason, and I knew that my body was breaking down at some point, and was a lot of things going on. But I was in a happy mood, and I felt like me doing a lot of favors. God gave me a favor back, and He gave me the kidney on Christmas, like a couple of days before Christmas.
Wow.
No lie, yeah. And I went to the hospital, got my transplant and all of that, and I've had it for 4 years now. So everything's been, I wouldn't say everything's been great. We've had some up and downs, some complications from the beginning. Like a lot has happened from when I first got the transplant. But at this point right now, I would say it's going pretty good.
And you got that on Christmas.
Oh yeah, on Christmas, yeah, like 2 days before Christmas, something like that.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. What is there any way to kind of maintain the kidney so that it could just last long? Like, do doctors have a way, maybe some kind of advanced treatment or medications where, I'm just unaware, but is there just any way to try to stretch the life of the kidney out?
I will definitely say diet.
Diet.
Diet is everything when it comes to your illness. Diet. As far as prolonging it for me, I will always tell people to go the holistic route, and go to that kind of herbal medicines, because whenever you try to fix a problem with medication, you always create another problem with the medication.
Yeah.
So you can be taking it for your kidney, but it can affect your liver, or it'll affect something else in your body. So having medication for such a long period of time, it'll affect whatever it is in your body. So it may prolong the kidney, but in the long run, you'll have something else that's wrong with you. So I always try to tell people to look for other routes that's away from big pharma. Like, try to look through other things that you can find through the things that they give you from the earth, plants and fruits and vegetables and all those type of things that you can accumulate to like make yourself feel better and create these concoctions like Dr. Sebi and all them was creating and stuff like that.
Yeah, shout out Dr.
I always
Sebi.
feel those are the better routes to go than just straight medication, because doctors will give you whatever it is just to get a check and go about their business, and that's how it is. It's just big business when it comes to doctors and the hospital. So,
and like you said, one medication will cause another problem, then you got to take medication to solve that problem. This, so
and it's
just a never-ending cycle
of you having something wrong because this medication already messed up this, and it sucks. So I try to not to even pain medication. Like, even when I had this problem going on, they was like, "You want me to give you like oxys or I'm not taking any of that. You could keep all of that stuff. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't take any like harm medications or anything like that. That's gonna mess me up."
What do you like to do in your spare time?
It may sound cheesy, but I like to be with my wife. I like to be
All right, you know what? Since we there, I was trying to save it, but since we there, let's tell us the story of how you met your lovely wife.
Yes.
Please.
So, we met in dialysis at the time. I had someone and she had someone, so we weren't even thinking about being together at that time. We were just very close friends because we related to one another. When it came to certain things that we were going through, we could talk to one another. She wound up getting a transplant before me, and I didn't hear from her for a while. And then later on during the years, I wasn't with my significant other, and she wasn't either. So I told her we should want to go out to eat. And then from there, things just went upon as they were, and now we're about to get married. It's almost going 10 years now that we've been together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Give it up for that. That's what's up. That's what's up. So what do you guys like to do in your spare time? You guys travel a lot?
We travel. Yeah, we try as much as we can. We try to travel. Yeah, because like tomorrow's never promised to anybody. So we try to make sure that we do the much in the day that we can, because tomorrow we don't know if we'll be alive to see the next day. So we try to take advantage of every single moment every time, living in the moment, not thinking about what's gonna happen in the past, in the future, or dwelling in the past. Our main focus is always living in the present because nothing is guaranteed. So we always want to explore. We like to go hiking. We travel. We bike ride. We have 2 dogs, which is basically our kids. And
Okay, nice.
that's our life, basically. So
That's dope. That's dope. Do you feel like when you guys found each other, do you feel like it kind of took the load off of everything you was dealing with, just having somebody that can understand you and relate to
I
the
would
situation you was going to?
I would say it's a double-edged sword because yes, it did take. I found somebody that could understand me and know what I'm going through, and if I tell her a specific thing that I'm feeling right in the moment, she would understand it because she's experienced it too.
Right.
But then it comes to like, oh snap, she has the same thing as me, so now I have to take care of her too. And now it's like one hand washes the other, so
Right.
it becomes a little bit scary at points when she's going through something, and if I can't help her, it makes me very nervous or scared because that's the last thing I want to do is lose her from anything like that. So it becomes a double-edged sword dealing with somebody that has something the same thing with you, because if one falls, we fall,
Yeah.
and it becomes a little difficult.
How much did her story inspire you?
If it wasn't for, I never would have got the transplant. I never would have did the second transplant. I was content with living my life on dialysis.
Oh wow.
I was content. I've already been there 20 years. What I'm gonna go get a transplant for after the first one failed? I wasn't with it. I'm like, I'm not about to put myself through all that. No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. She pushed me. She had transplant. She wanted better for me, and she knew that there was more medicine that was new to the field, and better doctors, better everything. So she's the one that pushed me to do it. So I'm like, if she's gonna do it, if she already did it, she told me everything was good. She's putting me on to her doctors, everybody that took care of her. Let's just do it. What I got to lose? Be
Right.
back on dialysis again? Like, what am I losing? So I might as well just give it a try and let's get it over with. And she pushed me to the point where I put myself on the list, and now I'm here.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's what a good woman could do for you, fellas. So make sure y'all go out there, get yourself a good woman, man. She gonna make sure you're right. What would you say to somebody? I guess the younger you, if you could speak to the younger you, what would you say?
I would tell myself, don't be stubborn. I would definitely tell myself to stick to the goal, like, of your health. Yeah. Whatever they're telling you to do it. Because I lollygagged and played so much. I lollygagged and played around so much with my health as a kid. I probably wouldn't have got on dialysis as soon as I did if I had to do what I had to do. Probably would have never had as much bone issues if I had to do what I had to do from a kid. So I would tell myself to lock in more. Lock in. Forget about the distractions of the world and everybody else's opinions and what they think about you and how you feel. Lock in for you. Because at the end of the day, it's only going to be about you. Those people will come and go and fade, and you'll never see them again. And it's really no point to try to impress anybody else that's not going to be there. It's about you, and you got to make sure that you take care of you first. And I didn't do that. And at those points, I was more into wanting to dress nice and being with the girls and going out to parties and not doing what I had to do, which broke my body down faster than what it needed to be and put me on dialysis quicker than what I should have been.
Last question, Vic. This has been very insightful, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, same.
And everything you're sharing with us. I ask everybody this last question. It's your disability has given you this ability to do or be what?
I would say my disability has given me the ability to overcome obstacles and also be strong. It's always a mind thing. If you fortify your mind and keep it strong, then nothing can destroy you or take you down, even your health. Whenever you start to dwell on the bad, it will always reflect on your body. You'll always see it. Your depression, everything will always break your body down. If you fortify your mind and you keep your mind strong, there's literally nothing that you can do. There's nothing you can do, even with an illness or not. So I always try to keep my mind strong, and I tell people that whatever it is that you're going through, always look at it, and there's a silver lining in everything. That's why I appreciate my illness, because it's made me who I was. It's taken me to places that I've never had the opportunity to go, meet people out of my bracket of money, and income and even just people that you would never even come across in any walks of life now. But dialysis brought me, well, not dialysis, but my kidney failure brought me to unite. I don't know what it is about me or energy, or I don't know. But I'm able to unite people and bring them together. And I feel like that has come from my disability. Being able to be empathetic about other people's situations and have compassion and those things. So that is what made me who I am today. My disability gave me the ability to be a good human being. That's what I would say, a good human being. And everybody considers themselves to be a good human being, but I really take that term literal. I don't even have to know you from a hole in the wall, but I would definitely reach out to you or do my best to make sure that I can help you with anything that you're going through in life. And I don't need to know you, but that helps me feel better as a person.
That's a great answer, man. Great answer. Yo, thanks again, Victor.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
I appreciate
Most
you sitting down
definitely.
with us today, sharing your story with FSGS. I hope you guys got a lot from this episode. Feel free to, leave comments and everything. And thank you guys for watching. This has been another episode of Disability. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate y'all watching. Love.